students, welcome back to business statistics class. So in previous class we had begun with the third unit, that is control charts, and we had studied the concepts of SQC. Now today we will study the control charts. Before that we will see three sigma limits, which is the base of this control charts. So what is this three sigma limits? In your normal distribution we had seen how to find out a probability given two sigma limits. There was one problem, I guess last but one problem we had seen how to find out two sigma limits. Suppose x is a normal distribution with parameters mean, mu and variance sigma square, then we know that probability of mu minus 3 sigma less than x less than mu plus 3 sigma is 0.9973. How is that? What you have to do for this, subtract and divide it by the mean and variance or standard deviation, then convert it to standard normal variate, then refer the graph. You will get the area or the probability under where x lies between mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma. It is 0.9973. that is 99.73 of the observations will lie in this limits, that is 3 sigma limits. So what is this 3 sigma? It is the variation. So the observations either might lie below mu with 3 sigma values or above mu with 3 sigma values. So that is the 3 sigma neighborhood of mu. Thus the number of observations lying outside this limit is very less, which is 0.27%. Even for non-normal distributions the situation is not much different. So while constructing control charts, control limits are nothing but this 3 sigma limits. So you will understand this concepts we will see in control charts, that is we are setting one limit and we are taking samples and we are checking whether those sample values will lie between this limit. If they are under this limit, then we will say that is the process is under control. If not, we are saying that there is something wrong or the quality is not up to our expectation. So to choose the limits we are using 3 sigma limits because many observations will lie under that, and the observations which lie outside this limit is very less. Now we will see what is control charts. A control chart is a graphical device which is used to verify whether a production process is in statistical control or not. So we are deciding whether the process is under control or not by using the graphs, which is called as control chart. The control chart was developed by Dr. Walter A. Shewhart. Control charts are useful for the detection of existence of variation due to assignable causes. Here chance causes, we know it is not under control and it cannot be reduced because it is not man-made. Hence control charts will deal only with the assignable causes. A control chart has 3 horizontal lines. The first is central line, which is abbreviated as CL. Then the second horizontal line is lower control limit and upper control limit. So this is representation of control chart. So here you have to take the samples and you have to calculate CL, upper control limit, lower control limit. We will see how to calculate all those. For central limit you have to draw a straight line, and for lower control limit and upper control limit you have to draw lines with small gap or the dotted lines. So this is how a control chart looks like. So the central line indicates the average quality level, and the lower control limit and upper control limit are nothing but your 3 sigma limits. When observations are plotted on the chart, if they fall outside the control limits or when the successive points show a specific directional movement, it is an indication of existence of assignable causes. Suppose when you draw all the points which are taken in the sample, if they fall outside this control limits, then you say that there is some variation or there is some assignable causes. So you have to go back to the process and you have to check where the mistakes are taking place, or else if there is some specific movement, that is there is some upward movement or some downward movement, then you can say again there is some assignable causes involved. So you will understand this when we solve the problems. Now in this control charts there are two types, when the standards are given and when the standards are not given. So based on the standards are given, there is one set of formula for charts. When standards are not given, you have to use the other formulas. We will see that. Coming to the charts, X bar chart and R charts for variables we had seen, and we use C chart and NP chart for attributes. Now what is this X bar and R charts for variable? Suppose X is a variable quality characteristic, then X bar and R charts are used for its control. So here you can use this X bar and R chart only for variables. So remember this, you can use X bar and R chart only for variables. Now consider X to be a variable quality characteristic, then X bar chart is used for the control of average quality level and R chart is used for control of variation. What is this R? This is nothing but range. So we had seen range is nothing but highest value minus the lowest value. What is this X bar? It is the average or the mean. So here samples of size n, usually we will take samples either 4 or 5 which are drawn on every regular interval. Say for every 1 hour you are drawing samples from 4 to 5 samples, and then you are checking whether they are under control or not. The sample mean X bar and the sample range R are found for each of these samples. So here we are taking sample, therefore we are using sample mean X bar. So whatever 4 to 5 observations you are taking, find the mean of that, find the range, so that will be your sample mean and sample range, and then control charts are drawn. So the control limits, so we will see what is the control limits. For X bar chart, when standards are given, so they will directly mention you what is the standards. Then the control limit will be X bar dash, lower control limit will be X bar dash minus A into sigma dash, and upper control limit will be X bar dash plus A into sigma dash. You have to remember this table, it is very important. For X bar chart, two things, one when standard is given, when standard is not given. When standard is given, it is X bar dash is the control limit, lower control limit will be minus and upper control limit will be plus. Here what is A, we will see, it is also a known value, and here X bar dash and sigma dash will be also known. When standards are not given, you have to calculate the values. So the formula will be, or the control limits will be, X double bar for control limit and X double bar minus A2 into R dash and X double bar plus A2 into R bar or R dash. So see, whenever lower control limit will be, there will be a minus sign, and upper control limit will be plus sign. When standards are not given, here the constant is A2, we will see what is the value of A2, and when standards are given, you have to take A, and when standards are given, they will give the standard deviation or what is the variation and what is the average, all will be given, only you have to construct the chart. When standards are not given, you have to find out all those terms and then construct a chart. Now we will see how to find out this X double bar and R bar. So in case of given standards, as I said, X bar dash and sigma dash would be known. And what is X bar? It is summation X by n. What is n? It is the Sample size. So either it will be 4 or 5 or sometimes 3 2, that is fine, but usually it will be not more than 5 for your syllabus or in general case. So x bar is summation x by n, and what is this x double bar? It is summation x bar by k. So how many samples you are taking in regular interval, that is your k, where k is the number of samples. So this is sample size and this is number of samples. So don't get confused. This concept will also be clear when we are solving problems. What is x bar? It is summation x by n, and x double bar is summation x bar by k, where k is number of samples, and r bar is summation r by k, where r is highest value minus lowest value. Similarly, for R chart, the control limits is, when standards are given, it is d2 into sigma dash, capital D1 into sigma dash, and d2 into sigma dash. Here all the terms will be known. Sigma 1 dash, it will be given d2, capital D1 and capital D2 will also be known. It is a constant and it will be same for all the problems. When standards are not given, it is r bar for control limit, d3 into r bar for lower control limit, and d4 into r bar for upper control limit. Where d3 and d4 is known, you have to calculate r bar. What is r bar? It is summation r by k, and these all constants is known. We will discuss that. You have to remember those constants also. So remember these two charts tables, it is very important. Similarly, we will see NP chart, or it is also called as D chart for number of defectives. Suppose a sample size of n are drawn at regular intervals and d is the number of defectives in each samples. So what the small d represents? It is number of defectives in each sample. It is also called as D chart, where d is number of defectives. Then d is a binomial variable with mean n into p, and standard deviation is, we know for a binomial distribution, standard deviation is square root of NPQ. Here this d, that is number of defectives, follows binomial variable. Hence mean is n into p, standard deviation is square root of NPQ, where p is the probability that an article is defective. Then this table represents the control limits. Again you have the control limits when standards are given and when standards are not given. Control limit will be n into p dash, where this p dash will be given. If you know p dash, then you can calculate q dash, which is 1 minus p dash. Now n will also be known, either it will be 4 or 5. So lower control limit will be n into p dash minus 3 into root of n p dash q dash. So this is nothing but your standard deviation. This is your mean, which is of the form mu minus 3 sigma. What is your mu? It is n into p for a binomial distribution. What is your standard deviation? Which is root of n p dash q dash. So the base is nothing but mu minus 3 sigma for lower control limit, mu plus 3 sigma for upper limit. If you remember this one equation, then you can solve any kind of chart. Then when standards are not given, you have to calculate p bar. So that will be your control limit, that is n into p bar mean. Lower control limit will be mean minus 3 times of standard deviation. So you have to construct what is p bar and what is q bar. And upper control limit will be n into p bar plus 3 times of square root of n into p bar into q bar. So for when standards are given, this p bar will be, p dash will be known. If not, then when standards are not given, what you have to do, take summation d first, that is d values will be known, add all those, you will get summation d, and divide it with n into k. What is n? It is the size of the sample, and k is number of such samples. So this will be cleared when we solve problems. I'll explain what is k, what is n, what is d. So all terms will be given in the problems. Now we will see C chart for number of defects per unit. So here what does the C denotes? It is number of defects per unit. Here it was number of defects in each of the samples. Now we are taking C as Poisson variable with mean lambda and standard deviation is square root of lambda. We know for a Poisson distribution mean is also lambda, variance is also lambda, hence standard deviation will be square root of lambda, where lambda is the average number of defects per unit in the population. What is lambda? It is the parameter of Poisson distribution. And what is mean for Poisson distribution? It is again lambda. So we can say lambda is the average number. Mean is nothing but average, right? So it is average number of defects per unit in the population. So the control limits for C chart will be again when standards are given and standards are not given. So it is mean, that is lambda dash, it will be known for control limit, central limit, and then lower control limit it will be lambda dash minus 3 times of square root of lambda dash. This is your mean, this is your standard deviation. Again it is in the form of mu minus 3 sigma. Then this is lambda dash plus 3 into square root of lambda dash. This lambda dash would be known. If it is not known, then you have to find out C bar for the central limit. Lower control limit it will be C bar minus 3 into square root of C bar, and it is C bar plus 3 times of square root of C bar. Now what is the C bar or C dash? It is summation C by K, and it is used for writing the control limits. And here C is a Poisson variable. So remember these charts or this table wherein you will get to know what is CL, LCL and UCL. Now this is the statistical constants for the control charts. Sample size, when n is 4, you have to see the table what is A, what is A to D according to the condition, whether the standards are given or standards are not given. So this is used in R chart and X bar chart. So you have A when standards are given. So what is the value of A? It is when n is 4 it is 1.5, and when n is 5 it is 1.3442. So you are using A2 when standards are not given for X bar chart, and you are using D1, D2, D3, D4 and small d2 for R chart. So all those values are given. We will be using this when we are using the problems or when we are solving the problems. So I want you guys to remember these 4 tables. One is for X bar chart, R chart, NP chart and C chart. So C chart, here the variable C follows Poisson distribution, hence you have to take mu minus 3 sigma for lower control limit and mu plus sigma 3 sigma for upper control limit and mu as CL, that is central limit. Now what is mu? It is lambda. So if it is known it will be lambda dash, if not it will be C bar. So sigma is square root of lambda dash if known, if not it is square root of C bar. Very simple. And in NP chart or D chart, D is number of defectives and it follows binomial distribution. Again the same concept, the control limits are mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma. For X bar chart also it is same, only for R chart it is bit different, but I think you can remember this formula, it is very simple. Now we will see interpretation of control charts or detection of lack of control. So the main purpose of using control charts is to see whether the process is under control or not, or if there are some defects or not. So the purpose of using control charts is to detect variation due to assignable causes. When a process is governed only by chance causes, the points on the control chart will lie within the control limits on both the sides of the central line, such that about 68% points lie within sigma limits and 95 points lie within 2 sigma limits. The following situations indicate lack of control. So in this they have explained we are using control charts to detect variation, and this variation should be because of assignable causes. And when the process is governed only by chance causes, there are no assignable causes present, that is due to some using low material, raw material, or some mishandling of the machines, no such causes are there, then there will be only chance causes. In such cases, when you take the samples and you draw the control chart, those points will definitely lie within the control limits. There are 3 lines, right? One is for CL, this is lower control limit and upper control limit. When only chance causes are there, all points will lie within this 3 lines, and they have given 68% is the probability where the points will lie within sigma limits, and 95% points will lie between 2 sigma limits. And when we can say that the situation is out of control, these 6 points are the situations where you can say that the process is out of control. That is, one or more points lie outside control limits, then you say that there is some variation due to assignable causes. A run of 7 or more subsequent points lie to one side of central line. Either there is continuous 7 points above the central line or below central line. There should be 7 or more points. Then you say that there is some variation due to assignable causes. More than 2 subsequent points lie beyond 2 sigma limits. More than 4 subsequent points lie beyond sigma limits. Upward or downward trend in the points. Presence of cyclical patterns in the points. That is, either if points go in upward direction or lower direction continuously, or there is some particular cyclical pattern. In all such cases, we say that there is some variation due to assignable causes. So with this, we will start solving problems in the next class. Before we begin the next class, please make a chart of all these 4 charts: C chart, NP chart, R chart and X bar chart, and see the formulas of calculating X bar, X double bar, R and all, so that it will be easy to solve the problem. And remember these 6 points to decide or to give the interpretation or the final results. So in the next class we will begin with the problems. Thank you.